Roblox, the platform that holds over 40 million games as of today, many of which are very addictive. I'm sure you've seen all those simulators, tycoons, and colourful obbies. They fill the platform and they have many players for one reason: that they're created to be addictive. A constant cycle of gameplay and reward. So this got me thinking, and over the last few weeks I've been doing my own research on what games get the most playtime, hold the largest numbers, and have the most addictive patterns. And I found one game that stands out from the rest, and it's called Sol's RNG. Now, after spending countless hours researching in and out of the game, I now believe it to be one of Roblox's most addicting games, if not the most addictive game on the platform. Sol's RNG. You open the game and there's not much, but there is one thing that's obvious, and it's a small button on the lower portion of your screen saying roll. And this one button, believe it or not, is the main function keeping thousands of players on edge. But how can one button do so much? Well, each time you press the button, it rolls through random titles based off of probabilities. For example, the common title will appear more and is easier to achieve as it's only a 1 in 2 probability to obtain. Then if you take, for instance, the Divinest title, which is 1 in 32, it'll take many more rolls to try and get compared to the common title. Okay, but what's so special about these titles anyway, to the point that players feel like they have to collect them? Well, put simply, their value, both in rarity and aesthetic. You can spend hours upon hours getting rare, uncommon, and other small to decent titles with some value and decent looks. But it's the larger titles that make both an insane looking aura around your avatar and hold immense in-game value. You'll feel quite proud when you're able to wear some of the higher end titles, and for some reason superior to others, which is pretty weird since the game is based off luck. But hey, the game was built for this purpose, to get players to roll for as long as possible and chase that sensation. Some players like myself are lucky at the start. I literally got a 1 in 500,000 title within my first 300 rolls. And since it was a breakthrough as well, 1 in 5 million, which I'll get back to later. Whilst other players have put much more time and rolls into the game, but don't have as rare a title. I believe one large factor in why this game is so addicting is just because of the luck factor. The mere chance to be number 1 on the leaderboard, or obtain one of the game's most valuable titles each roll, is surely a reward worth chasing, even though in reality only a few people will obtain them. So how do you know if you're about to get a more valuable title? Well, if you're about to, you will know, because no title will come up and your screen will turn black, having either a growing star appear in the middle of your screen, or it'll fill with colours instead. If a colour fills the screen, then you've got something quite valuable, like the Precious for example, which holds a 1 in 1024 possibility to roll, and then a star. If you get a star and it starts growing and makes the screen crack, you've got something very valuable, likely ranging from 1 in 10,000 to 1 in 300,000 or so. Not only is having the valuable title amazing, the animation that appears is so satisfying also. So how can you better your chances at landing these titles? Well, there's a few ways, one of which is by rolling 5,000 times and you can unlock auto roll, a feature that allows you to sit back and relax while your game automatically skips through all the high probability titles. Another being the fast roll game pass, allowing you to roll way faster and get straight to the point. And personally, after purchasing this myself for 100 Robux, the game feels entirely different, and it probably also means you're a certified addict as of now, since you're rolling even faster and more. And then what about an unpaid way the developers have to aid players in their probability pursuit? Well, Sol's RNG does offer players an in-game shop at spawn, which can help in a few ways. The shop holds a few craftable items which have their own perks and/or statistic boosts. In order to purchase items, you need to add the titles required to craft the item. The most common and easiest to craft being the Luck Glove. When held, this glove gives you plus 25% luck when rolling, which if you think of it is very handy, as it gives you 25% more probability towards every title in the game. Then further down you have other items which need much more valuable titles to craft, such as the Lunar Glove, which gives you minus 15% roll time, and this allows you to roll way faster. Then you have much more difficult items to craft like the Solar Glove, giving you some insane statistic boosts. So the shop is relatively handy, but again, to get better items than just the Luck Glove, which is insanely easy to obtain, you'll need some great luck first, and then onto another cool feature in the game, quests. You can walk up to this girl Lime and she'll give you some cool quests that you can complete whilst playing normally, having challenges such as roll 300 times. In return, she'll give you some limited titles and other stuff. So far, she's only given me this. Does it have any worth? Probably not, but the more quests you do, the harder they'll become, along with more exclusive and better titles too, I can imagine. And a reminder, this game is purely luck, and yes, all these features will help. But when we think about the true probabilities when it comes to obtaining many of these items, it's just luck. Nothing will help guarantee you to maybe get a 1 in 1 million title, nonetheless a 1 in 50 million. So now that we've gone through all of the game's features, what is it that actually makes the game so addictive? And how has the developer purposely designed Souls RNG in such a way that nearly all of its 35,000 concurrent players are addicted in some way?
Well, we have to go back to the main function of the game, the roll button. As said previously, the mere chance of being able to obtain one of the best titles in the whole game with every click is an instant smart design, and trust me, it keeps players constantly on edge. It's basically like a free casino that gives players an unlimited number of rolls to, in quotes, win it all, with that being the best items in the game, of course. So, clearly the developers know what they're doing, a game that gives every player the freedom and chance to obtain a variety of rare items and even the best in the game, without having to do a thing, aside from clicking roll, that is. Then further getting players to buy and upgrade gloves to better their probabilities when rolling.
Now, what makes these titles, aside from their rarity, so worthwhile? Simple. Their aura, effects, looks, whatever you want to call it. When you have one of these titles equipped, your avatar and its aura surrounding changes. And the rarer the title, the better the aura. I mean, just look at this 1 in 7,500,000 title. It even gets its own proximity music. Hopefully one day I'll get that sort of luck. But now I'm gonna go play some Souls RNG, because I can't really stop. Peace.